Hello everyone and welcome to the next episode of Coteries of New York. Couldn't stay away, could you? We are here to meet our wonderful potential Coterie members, with Agathon, Hope, D'Angelo, and Tamika waiting for us to meet them. And I actually asked you in the previous video who should I meet, and you guys are into all of them. So I feel like the most mentioned one was Hope. Then on the other hand, people said that Game Girl didn't receive enough love, but then also people said that Nosferatu seemed to be fun, and actually when I played the alpha, D'Angelo seemed to be super fun to hang out with, and I really enjoyed him. And Agathon, of course, he also received plenty of love from you. So let's say we will start with Hope, but then we will go forward and meet the other ones soon later, as soon as we can. Let's go with Hope. Sophie suggests you meet Hope, a reclusive member of the Malkavian clan. She's supposedly holed up in an internet cafe in Lower Manhattan. Okay, continue. There are very loud sirens outside of my window right now. That's actually super fitting to this theme right now. It's extremely fitting, but anyway. It's a quiet, moody internet cafe. Half of its space serves as a comfy coffee bar these days, but behind the glass wall, it still has a space dedicated to rows of PCs. From the street, you can notice tired adults in casual clothes tapping away absent-mindedly, and some bored kids wasting the late evening hours on colorful online games. Question, guys. If you live in a big city, or if you not as well, do you still have online cafes around? Because we do not have them anymore. I mean, at least in a medium or smaller cities that I usually frequent. In the bigger cities, maybe you do have some when you need to print something or something like that. You just go there to download something and print it. But when it comes to people actually hanging out on the internet in a cafe, on someone else's PC, no, that doesn't really happen anymore that much, I would say. Let me know if you have any experiences with that, because I'm actually quite interested in that. Also, I heard that in Japan, there are apparently people who live in internet cafes still up to this date. So that would be interesting. If Sophie's intel is to be believed, this is where Hope has set up her haven. One of the waiters is standing outside the building, gazing at the sky with a smartphone in one hand and a vape pen in the other. You approach the man and tell him, I was supposed to meet Hope here? If I told you I was supposed to meet Hope here, what would you say to me? That's a little bit less convincing than what I said. I'd probably tell you I'm surprised. People are usually far more discreet about seeing her. The man slowly takes a drag from his e-cig, sizing you up and down in silence. After a long, awkward moment, he raises his voice again. Come, right this way. He heads back into the cafe and you follow his lead. When you make your way through the space with computers, no one averts their gaze from their spreadsheets, emails, Facebook profiles, or games of Fortnite. It's a common sight, one you wouldn't have paid much attention to a few weeks ago, but now it seems so unnervingly quaint. Wait a second. I had to process that in my mind. Kids go to internet cafes to play Fortnite. Do they? Is anyone in the world actually doing that? Would they still be spending their time like this if they were immortal? Why not? I probably would. The waiter unlocks an unassuming door at the end of the room and lets you inside. You two swiftly make your way through a labyrinth of sterile gray corridors, taking confusing twists and turns. Okay. Feels like you're traveling into a different world, crossing one invisible portal after another. Eventually, you reach your destination. Your guide motions you to enter a dark room with a lone source of pale light, a computer screen in the distance beckoning you to come closer. She has tissues there. People are always asking, why the hell do girls have tissues or toilet paper on their desks? I always do. It's always there and it's very useful, all right? You think that only you need them for your reasons. No, there are plenty of reasons why you need these, all right? It's always useful to have a pack of tissues by your PC, okay? Wipe that blood from your face after you feed. As you do, you hear the door shutting behind your back and a short chuckle echoing behind it. Is this the place? Wait a second. That mask in here. I was thinking for a second it's a nameless ghoul mask from Ghost. It kind of looks this way, doesn't it? It looks like a nameless ghoul from Ghost. Well, is she a fan of Ghost? That would be so cool. Nothing else to do but sit on a chair in front of the computer. The monitor displays a modern chat application. A cursor is blinking in the user nickname entry field in the middle of the screen, obviously expecting you to input your handle. After a brief consideration, you type in something goofy. Maybe it's your newfound sensibilities going haywire, but this place has a barely noticeable sleazy aura. Might as well go with it. You input Pornos Collector. Really? And push the enter button. After a few seconds, the chat window opens and messages start appearing on the screen in quick succession. Just to be clear, I don't have a wank rag. Mao, oh, for sure. No, for real. The Mao was meant for Jerry, of course. Not much longer. Yeah, Jerry's the chat MVP. I mean, I've been into far worse things on here. God, I'm so horny. Not sure why I'd have a need to lie about this one. Oh my god, literally, who cares? You and me both, bozo. Wait, who is Pornos Collector? Pornos Collector? No idea. A new user wasn't here a second before. What the hell? Was anyone informed? No announcement. I know I wasn't. Jerry, Pornos Collector, identify yourself within 2 minutes or get banned. The chat goes silent, everyone seemingly waiting for you to say something before proceeding. This must be a close-knit group. Better say something before they kick you out. Who are you people? Just logged in here. Who are you guys? Who the fuck are you? This was meant to be a safe channel, investigating what went wrong. How did they even get in there? Stay calm. Can you get their location, Jerry? Lol, yeah, sure, that's our Jerry. Gonna DM it to anyone interested. Oh boy, now you're into trouble, Pornos Collector. Yeah, you're gonna regret, Dambus, the day you decided to spy on us. Okay. Presence? Can I actually use... I mean, there is ability of presence that actually allows you to use your presence through the social media, but I think it's usually the video footage. Let me read on this very quickly. So this ability is actually a super high level ability called Star Magnetism, and the presence powers of the user now affect people viewing them on live feeds or hearing them over the phone. Recorded images or messages do not retain the effect, however. I see, so it has to be like a live stream. Alright, but I have no idea if we can actually use it just this way, because it wouldn't leak through the chat, but let's try it out because we wouldn't know. You've had enough of these trash-talking randoms. Time to teach them some respect. Your blood fires up. Ancient power starts coursing through your veins, fingers tapping the keyboard buttons on their own. You people better stay quiet if you know what's good for you. You have no idea who you're messing with. You will obey me. This is so bad. The chat goes silent once again, and then it explodes. What am I looking at here? Lol. Oh shit, watch out, he started typing properly. I'm so glad I decided to log in earlier today. You have no idea who you're messing with. I would be so pissed if I missed this. You know he means business. Oh god, I told you, it doesn't work through the internet. Guess your powers don't work online. There we go. Go figure. You know your cheeks would turn blood red right now if they still could. Got the info. Nice. You wanna die, asshole? You will die. You will die. 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 Mowing at everyone sentencing Pornos Collector to death. I'm literally on my way to kill you right now. Yeah, sorry to inform you, but you're about to die. Rip, bitch. You're getting your throat slit right here, right now. A split second after you read the message, you feel someone's arms tightening around your neck. The violent return to reality catches you off guard. A jolt of panic rushes through your brain, paralyzing you momentarily. You've come to the wrong chat room, motherfucker. I love her already, she's awesome. A ridiculous whisper rings out next to your ear, and the grip under your head gets even tighter. You start struggling, but even with your newfound supernatural strength, you're having trouble breaking out. This isn't a normal human you're dealing with. Last words? Sophie sent me here. Langley. The hand holding your chin shifts its position slightly. Don't struggle, or I will break your windpipe, or my phone, which would end even worse for you. Sounds of a camera shatter and light flashing. Did they just take some selfies with you? Alright, that's enough fun. I'm letting you go. We can have a talk. Don't do anything stupid, Mr. Intruder. Pretty please. The mysterious assailant loosens their grip on you and gently pushes you away. You quickly turn to take a good look at them. Hey, she has a cat t-shirt. And a corset with what? This is a weird fashion choice. And cool tattoos. She has an astronaut in there. That's awesome. And a salubri eye. Why would she have a salubri eye in there? And I mean, yeah, it's a symbol of God. I know, but we are in the Vampire the Masquerade, okay? And some little boyos. It's beautiful. Let me just finish this. It's a pale blonde woman in her 20s, giving you slightly judgmental looks while rapidly tapping away at her phone screen. First, you notice her outrageous outfit, seemingly thrown together from random thrift store finds. Then you take note of her tattoos, a sprawling tapestry of odd patterns and designs covering every visible part of her body. At first glance, it all seems aimless, but it has a consistent sense of style upon closer inspection. Her eyes focus on you for a second. Gave you a scare, huh? Sorry, that's what you get for entering a lady's haven without her permission. And she's back to her phone. With her relatively small build, it's hard to believe you had trouble overpowering her physically. But then again, nothing is what it seems when it comes to the undead. And even compared to the vampires you've met so far, she comes off as an eccentric, curious presence. She shoots you another glance, noticing you're still cautious of her. Calm yourself, man. I won't pull anything like this anymore. It was just feel stupid saying it out loud. Vibe check. Vibe check. Yeah, I got a glimpse of your vibe on the internet and in a dangerous situation. I'd say I've got a pretty good idea about who you really are. I'm Ho, by the way. If you're here, you've probably heard of me, so I went ahead and skipped the pleasantries. But come to think of it, I might have skipped too many of those. Yeah, she definitely fits the description you were given by Sophie. I still can't believe you got so mad online. You actually tried to use your powers on people talking trash about you from who knows where. Jesus. Can you imagine, like, talking to some vampires on Twitter and making them angry with your tweets, and they actually try to freaking up that protein or fortitude in front of their screens and wasting the blood while you're just sitting somewhere and laughing at them. Oh dear. But you know, I kinda respect the dedication. It's amusing. Anyway, don't worry about the chat. It was all a game to us. No hard feelings, okay? I'll introduce you properly later. On the monitor, the chatter continues normally. Your visit is like yesterday's news, no longer relevant to anything. So Malkavians don't have the Malkavian network anymore, they have chat rooms. There is a Malkavian network, but still. Malkavians, by the way, they do very often tap into this global conscience of Malkavians, and they can exchange, sometimes if they are very lucky, information telepathically through this network, although it is usually very incoherent and has no sense, and you can't really read the true meaning from that, but still, it's an option. But oh, look, if we're going to talk about you, you should have something to say too. What are you doing here? About time, she asked. Note to self, she really loves the sound of her own voice. Sophie Langley sent me? Harper rolls her eyes. Yeah, you've said that already. You think I'm an idiot or something? I'm going to say this once. Only once. Please, please, please don't be boring. She starts tapping at her phone again. After a few seconds, some kind of realization dawns on her face and she turns back to you. Wait. Shit, are you the new Longley plaything? Word seems to be getting around fast. Of course you are! It was obvious the second Langley got her hands on a new servant. She'd start building a network. Your ambitions tell me that could really come in handy when... But Langley, that's a risky game. This kind of ambition attracts too much attention. Peace off! But then again, fucking Kara. She seems to be having a spirited argument with herself, only parts of it audible. Is it just you, or do her facial expressions and body language change a bit between one sentence and the other? Before you make certain it's not just your eyes playing tricks on you, she focuses half of her attention back on you. The other half, of course, is still obsessed with her smartphone. Listen, I'm not saying I'm not interested in cooperation, but before I make a decision, I need to make sure you sort of understand me and that I sort of understand you. And since I was planning to put on a show before you came here, I propose a little game. Hope absentmindedly spins her phone in her hand, considering how to put her thoughts into words. Then she approaches a switch on the wall and flicks it. Neon lights flare up, illuminating the room. Ooh. Ooh! You take a look around. The room is certainly unique. It looks like a bachelor's room, repurposed to be a living space. For me, it looks like something else, but that's okay. The modern computer in front of you starkly contrasts the ominous industrial walls. At the back, there's an overwrought bed covered in velvet with meat hooks hanging above. On top of the bed sheets, you notice what seems to be pieces of elaborate S&M equipment and a camera. Wait a minute. You want my help? Moderate my cam show. What? Yes! Sure! Cam show? Your eyebrows twitch involuntarily. This is definitely not the kind of request you expected to hear tonight. She notices your confusion. Take it or leave it, buddy. You just became a kindred, but you want to become my partner in crime? Show me you can handle yourself while watching my back in my everyday environment. She's serious. The show starts in 10 minutes. If you think yourself better than this, better walk out the door right now. I won't hold a grudge. I've got better things to do. As if to prove it, she looks at something displayed on her phone and cracks a brief grin. Another reply tapped down with absolute speed. Tap, 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 tap. 9 minutes, it's now or never. Show moderator, risk of violating the masquerade high. Content warnings, oh yes. So, do you take the job? Why the hell not? Hope brightens up and her smile looks surprisingly sincere. Excellent. I promise you might find this interesting in more ways than one. Alright, give me a second. She spends a minute setting up the computer you used before, then urges you to sit down. The explanation of the moderator's functionalities is simple. It boils down to ignoring anyone who doesn't disrupt the chat, banning anyone who does, and kicking anyone who's causing minor trouble. 5 minutes later, she's already online, sitting on her bed in a provocative pose. It is a sex show, isn't it? Her voice, previously hushed, rings out with full force. How are you doing tonight, hopefuls? She's a cam girl. You peek at the chat. We're not worthy, queen! Fucking A! Angel! Hell yeah, time to fuck! Okay, sure, why not? Do I ban someone? No, ignore. This is a normal chat, I guess. I'm not sure about the last guy, but ignore. You're tempted to try out the kick and ban prompts as soon as possible, but obviously you won't punish someone for a little dirty talk. Thank you. Today's show is quite special. Please welcome our new moderator, Parnas Collector. Sorry for sentencing you to death earlier. At least the community here seems to be a bit more welcoming this time. Looks like this place has an established hazing ritual. Or maybe they and Hope came up with one specifically for you. Who knows? She's a Twitch streamer, but with BDSM in the background, so I don't really know, but that's familiar. You decide to stay silent. Eventually, people stop riffing on you and focus entirely on the star of the show. Alright, let's start this one with a bang, shall we? It begins, queen! Oh boy, she's going to do it! So this is where the strip show starts. You raise your head, curious about what kind of performance she's going for. First, she opens her mouth and reveals her retractable fangs in front of the camera. Masquerade, anyone? Right off the bat, the online audience is treated to a sight of her wholly human set of teeth turning into a monster's maw. The image is both revolting and fascinating. I feel uncomfortable. Camarilla wouldn't approve of this. She raises her left wrist for everyone to see, and then bites. Are you kidding me? The fangs immediately turn her arm into a horrifying, gory mess. It's unclear if she used them to slash or bite, but one thing is for sure, no ordinary human could cause such damage. If an ordinary human suffered such a wound, you'd expect a geyser of blood to appear too, but it doesn't. Hope's technically a corpse, so it's impossible. She flashes a monstrous smile and starts smearing vitae all over her hand to maximize the impact of the violent image. Then she starts drinking it up. She makes it a point to make the sight as gruesome as possible, looking like a hyena feasting on the corpse. The contrast of her behavior with her look of an Instagram model is stunning. Once she's done, she reveals the wrist to the camera for the last time. She starts making theatrical gestures with her right arm as the wound begins to mend. Inquisition is onto her, guys. Run away! What are we doing here? Shortly after, it's no longer there. It's like a magician's trick. Her left hand looks like nothing wrong ever happened to it. Here's an appetizer. First blood to kick off the show. While you're wondering what the hell is going on, Hope catches a glimpse of your bewildered face and turns into your direction. How is that for an opening? This is not a sex show? Sex? What, were you counting on me getting naked in front of you or something? Oh, honey, we've just met each other. If you expected a strip show, yeah, sorry to disappoint. This is more like live stream digital art. The erotic subtext is there, of course. You pick at the chat, they're going wild. She did that for free. I love to lick your wrist clean, my fallen angel. Yes! Nothing more arousing than a beautiful woman teetering on the edge of oblivion, a rose petal dancing in the eye of a violent hurricane. Sexy Bozo is maneuvering in between being this total creep and being a total romantic, which is quite sad because I imagine this lonely dude in front of his PC who just wonks to the internet's cam ladies and actually is a romantic at heart and wants a true love. Oh dear, continue. But eroticism is not the key here, it's vampirism. It's a new frontier, a living art installation. In the early 90s, the Japanese artists kept producing these videotapes with beautiful women committing a gory harakiri. Those are an inspiration. She bares her fangs again in a devious grin. But I have no interest in auto-distraction or turning myself into a victim. This is a celebration of a body I love, not self-inflicted punishment. The audience came here to marvel at beautiful vampire and her awe-inspiring powers. Mending wounds is just one of those. The people watching can pay to see more. Oh, and don't worry, the only things the audience can see and hear are the things I allow them to. We can talk freely. Just remember to moderate the chat, will you? High risk of violating the masquerade. What a joke, she's blatantly breaching it in front of anonymous viewers. Still speechless, you turn your attention to the screen. Muy guapa. Alright, I'm feeling generous today. Have you planned your next tattoo yet? I'll pay for the next attraction. Looking like a pink marshmallow covered in raspberry sauce. First victim, just letting you know you're based. I know. I will ignore. You let the guy vent with his excitement. Seems harmless. A special message appears in the chat log, claiming somebody has successfully sponsored the first goal of the show. Hop smiles and picks up a bag of blood from underneath the bed. It must have been retrieved from a blood bank. She showcases the label to the camera for everyone to see. Drink up! Drink up! Drink up! Drink up! There was someone who had the nickname Fuck Pornos Collector already? Come on, I'm just a moderator for 5 minutes and someone already hates me. Hop pours all the contents of the bag into her throat. You have no doubt it's real blood, but wonder why the viewers would be so satisfied with something that's so easy to fake. Don't worry, it pays well enough. Don't even bother to tell her this is not what you're thinking about. Safe to assume she knows. So, what do you know about the kindred and the internet? Have they told you anything? While she's waiting for someone to sponsor her next vampiric feat, she decides to start the conversation. Is there a vampire internet? If you find something that looks like vampire internet, stay away. See, some of us used to experiment with our own secure networks. We tried to build our own information hubs, social networks, everything. ShrekNet. She's still working the phone in one hand while looking for something under the bed with the other. How many things she can concentrate at one time exactly? Then one day the NSA got it. Turns out elders never really got the hang of proper security practices, or the sigils they used to smear on their screens didn't exactly work as advertised. Well, the Nosferatu had a lot of knowledge about security, of course, but not as much as the Second Inquisition did, so unfortunately they got to them finally. Let me read on that. Elder, a vampire who has experienced at least 2 or more centuries of unlife. Elders are the most active participants in the Jihad, the secret self-destructive war waged between the ancient and dead. Elder vampires tend to manipulate their lesser kin, using them as pawns in a terrible game, the rules of which defy comprehension. That is true. Bloodlines is a good example. Then, of course, all the other three-lettered intelligence agencies in the world got the intel, and a lot of them decided bloodsuckers were the perfect new enemies for post-9/11 times. The Second Inquisition came into being. Ever heard of it? I did. My character didn't. Often abbreviated as SI, a collective name among vampires for the recent coordinated efforts of intelligence agencies to combat the kindred as if they were a terrorist threat. Few individual agents understand what they are fighting, and the intra-agency collaboration codenamed First Light places enormous import on keeping their operations secret and disguised as ordinary anti-terrorist action. Freaking Inquisitors. A lot of our kind died just because they were too present online. Right now the remains of our old network serve as government honeypots, kept alive to attract fledglings and hunt them down. You post a certain keyword on Twitter or Facebook, you get tagged for investigation. You fit certain patterns, you get tagged for investigation. So there is a certain thrill in becoming an online presence without attracting attention from the authorities. She stretches on the bed. I hope you are still monitoring the chat. Of course not. You're not as good at dividing your attention as she is. You correct your mistake and check the recent messages. Aww, is she talking to somebody? Can't wait for the real thing to start. This 2-meter setup rules. Call of Duty on one screen, drop that hotness on the second screen. The only woman I don't hate. And Hope, more like my favorite hoe. Hope has craps and gonorrhea. That's a sweet nickname. I am going to kick the last guy. You give the guy a kick. Get yourself a normal nickname, douchebag. After 10 seconds, he's back with the same handle. Time for a decision. Ignore or ban. Ban. This kind of nickname only suggests trouble. You get rid of them permanently. Good job. Yay! I am a good moderator. She's keeping close tabs on you. Anyway, yeah. When the Nosferatu admitted to Camarilla their network got compromised, the elders went batshit insane. Internet communications became strictly forbidden. There were executions! That's true, Camarilla was actually going away from using technology in general. There was like absolutely no usage of internet for some time within the Camarilla. Of course, within the official Camarilla. A lot of people who use social media to secretly contact their mortal families and lovers got offed. That goes without saying. But if you weren't careful, even the most innocent web usage could result in being punished with final death. Thanks to user Dick Steele, great nickname, the next goal has just gotten successfully funded. Let's go! Vanishing Act! Dehumanize yourself and face to bloodshed! She raises her hand, 3 fingers up, 2 fingers up, 1 finger up. The countdown ends and she immediately disappears from the screen like a ghost. You can still see her on the bed, but the live feed indicates there's nobody there. When you deeply focus on the digital image, you swear you can make out some unusual glitching where her silhouette should be, but it could very well be just placebo. You ready for this? 3, 2, 1... A flash of a camera. The instant she reappears on the screen, she takes a selfie, sticking her tongue out in a provocative manner. The chatroom explodes in cheers again. She's their vampire queen. You briefly wonder about her being glued to the screen. Is this the fantasy everyone is here for? A girl showing off cheap magic tricks while lazily browsing her social media? Well, it's not like, you know, Twitch audience watching the countdowns is very needy. Like, there's very basic things you can give them and they'll be happy. You realize you're way out of your depth here. Meanwhile, Hope decides to continue her lecture. These were some wild times, especially in New York. While most of them have no clue as to our real nature, a lot of clandestine organizations have classified us as national threats. And since this is where the towers fell, the agencies are very much present around here, looking for easy PR victories. The last SI raid was just a few years ago, and it was a big one, stirred up the hornet's nest something fierce. But although it's 2019, New York City is ruled by someone who got embraced before World fucking War II, and the cam as a whole got really spooked and swore off the internet. Of course they're not dumb and understand that you can't really coexist with modern kind without the internet. It's a grey zone right now, like piracy. Technically frowned upon, but let the one without sin cast the first stone. The SI is a real threat, no joke, but in many senses, the darkest place is right under the candle. You take another look at the screen. We want blood! How about some bad stuff? Can you do some bad stuff? Can you show us next time? It's been a long, hard day, please give me a shout out. A familiar nickname pops up. Masoki-sama. Kick. I'll give the guy a kick for spamming the chat. The message is deleted so fast, Hope might not even notice. A duty carried out well. You're surprised to feel an inkling of pride. Oh yeah, fun fact about being a vampire. We can sweat and pee if we just exert ourselves really hard. Some of us can even orgasm. We can even cry, but only tears of blood. I don't really roleplay it this way, so how I roleplay it myself, I think it depends, of course, on the storyteller, is that a blush of life allows you to cry real tears. So your body fluids are replaced with the regular fluids. But when you don't use a blush of life and you cry, then that's blood, basically. But it depends on the storyteller, because it's not explicitly said in the newest core book, I believe, whether the tears are made of blood or not, I believe. It's something I always dreamed to do when I was 14, so romantic, and it drives them crazy. As per of her words, a scarlet tear starts running down her face. The chat goes wild. This seems to be exactly the kind of thing they've been waiting for. Ah! An angel that fell down from heaven! Oh my god, she did it again! Beautific. Hope your tortured soul finds some calm eventually. Can you imagine USA assembling a blood-sucking squad that would just cruise by the border and suck blood out of any illegal they found? The very thought gives me the biggest boner. Jesus Christ. I don't know what is her policy on politics in the chat. You know, I usually ban people who talk any politics in my chat because that just, it sucks. But I guess I will just freaking kick him, and kicked. Just to be clear, you realize what we're doing here is a blatant breach of the masquerade, right? I honestly expected you to leave or inform somebody by now, but you haven't, have you? Try to focus on the chat. A familiar nickname is displayed on the screen. Another thing from Masoki-sama. It seems to be a code though. Should I kick him again? One more kick, one more familiar message. I feel like this might be a code for something. You double check, that's the same message he sent out the last time. Is he copy-pasting it or something? Ban. Looks like Mr. Masochist needs a longer break. After you ban him, you hear Hope's voice. Good job handling that guy. Great, if nothing else works out, seems like you fit this job at the very least. In any case, the last goal has just been funded. It's time for the great finale. This is what you've all been waiting for, right? Yes, queen, yes, queen, yes, queen! Her voice has changed. She gets closer to the camera, letting her face fill the frame of the live feed. Her mesmerizing eyes are focused purely on the viewers. You wanted the blood? Come out into the streets, claw out your neighbors' throats, slash their veins, and drink up. Yes, queen, yes, queen, yes, queen. Hope's presence becomes absolutely horrifying, and it influences the chat in some incomprehensible way. Everyone starts typing like they were possessed. Wait, did she just use star magnetism on them? Liberate yourself from the shackles of ordinary morality. Make them scream. Feel the warmth of their entrails. Hope, girl. No. What the hell is she doing to those people? What have you gotten yourself into? Transcend your bodies, release the message of hope into the world. She starts jerking violently for a second and then falls down on the bed like a marionette that had just had its strings severed. She exhales loudly a few times and laughs. When she does, the room goes dark again. Alright, that's enough. Instead of taking the continuing, she does something with her phone. The stream ends and the chat instantly becomes dead quiet. Let me take over. The atmosphere in the room has completely changed. She's already put herself together and stood up. Now she's walking towards you. What the fuck just happened? Guess the show is over, everyone relax and go home. Aw, and I was almost ready to come, bros. Hostage, I swear on my father's grave one day I will find you and kick the everling shit out of you. After every line she delivers, she changes her voice, the way she puts her lips together and even the way she moves. Oh, it was her talking! You've caught glimpses of her acting this way, but only now have you started to figure it out. What the hell just happened? A miss point did you lack? I'm immortal. I'm bored. I'm separated from most vampires in the city by a generational chasm, and I'm so goddamn lonely. The internet used to be my only friend. Infodump delivery service. Years ago, I started researching tulpas, collective unconsciousness, all the mambo jumbo at the intersection of psychology and spirituality, and I decided to experiment. The show was fake. A few years later, I was an Instagram fashionista, a successful erotic model, a vital part of pop culture commentariat, a viral shitposter, a cryptocurrency expert. All of my internet selves started signal boosting each other, paving the way for new ones. I became a one-woman empire surrounded by legions of psychopaths. The chat was fake. Some may think of it as a dissociative identity disorder, but that's bullshit. Everyone has online alter egos they buried. I just resurrected them, gave birth to new ones, and let them crossbreed. Her constant tapping at the phone even during the show, somehow she was capable of impersonating an entire chat room. Wow! That's a huge freaking ego trip to do a cam show and at the same time be your whole freaking chat. Damn! I don't even have a self that could be dissociate or be mentally ill. I'm a host, a living database. I live because I find it fun to be an information conduit to process trends and support the ones I deem worthy. There was no masquerade violation. She was showing off her skills all along. She pushed you into a world of pure fiction, the same way she was testing you back when she attacked you from the back. Damn, she's good at this. Mark David Chapman. Of course, you can just ignore what I'm saying and decide I'm just another deranged Malkavian. But hey, annihilation of the self is the only way to survive in the 21st century. Android of Notre Dame. If there ever was an era that demanded images of beautiful people transcending beyond humanity and inspiring others to do the same, it's this one. Manhole Mermaid. Although for now, because of Masquerade, my audience is quite limited. Speaking of, you want to be the star of my next movie? Shh. Manhole Mermaid. Need some time to mull it over? Sure. Oh, okay. I think it's her speaking now. I said no, sorry to disappoint, or what? But yeah, your test is over. Now the question is, do I want to work with you? She puts away her phone for the first time since you've met her and gives you a good hard look. Guess I can give it a shot, yeah. You're not that dumb, you're not that boring, and you're kind of cute. Don't worry, no more modding jobs. Mods get detached, and that's always bad news. She grabs your arm and starts leading you out of the room. I've put you through enough shit. Next time I'll let you in on a little job I'm doing. We'll hit the streets and you'll see why Selfie told you to contact me. She leads you through a labyrinth of grey corridors. It's a different route than the one you made your way through in. Unconscious diagram of psychic events. There we go. The city is so much more than what its elites consider real. Stick with me and I'll guide you to places Camarilla elders couldn't reach in 100 years. She leads you out of the building into the back alleys. Shitty trailer voice. Even if someone else rules the streets, we'll rule the information highways. This is the power of hope. She lets out a theatrical laugh and disappears. You don't even notice when she leaves you alone, but you assume everything went as well as it could. A new ally. The power of hope. As you walk off into the night, everything around you feels a little less tangible than it did a few hours ago. That was interesting, goddamn. That was a pretty cool concept, I have to admit. To actually take a Malkavian and the very well known and very much overused, I would say, dissociative personality disorder when it comes to creating a Malkavian character, but actually combine it with online personas. Which is actually very much fitting to the modern age, because that is true what she said. Very often people develop multiple personas online and throughout the years try to play different people and try to, pretend that there's someone else that they're not. I remember when I was a teenager, I was trying to play a much more mysterious version of myself online because, I was a little dark lady, right? It was just something that I loved to do. And I think it's a very interesting concept. As much as the whole dissociative personality disorder seems to be extremely overused when it comes to Malkavians, I like this take on it. I think it's fine. Anyway, guys, we have 3 more people. Let me know what I should meet next in the next episode. And in the meantime, don't get lost in the night and see you in another one. Goodbye.